Well, fight fans, we are set to go with this bout. 3 rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. His background is in wrestling and striking. At 5 feet 5 inches tall, he weighed in officially 125 3/4 pounds. As a professional in 11 bouts, his record stands at 7 victories and 4 defeats. Fighting out of Barcelona, Spain, originally from Romania, here is Paul El Empalador Marin. And next, his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. A mixed martial artist standing 5 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in 125 1/2 pounds and brings a professional record of 6 victories and 5 defeats. From Newtownards, Northern Ireland, here is Andy Tezya! Referee in charge of the cage, Mark Goddard.
Referee Mark Goddard about to get this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds in the Cage Warriors flyweight division. Andy Taz Young in the black with white and red trim. Paul Empalador Marin in the blue. Touch of gloves and we're underway, Josh. Nice straight jab from Andy Young to start things off. Yeah, Marin coming back with a head kick though.
I have kind of questioned what the game plan for each of these guys is going to be in this fight. Be interesting to see if Paul tries to put this on the floor, if he feels that, you know, he knows Andy has never actually TKO'd an opponent, so if he decides to try and stand and just use the wrestling as a backup.
Marin coming out throwing strikes. Seeing an evolution of Paul Marin here. Andy Young though going for that plum clinch.
Really nice tight boxing guard from Young, actually from Marin as well.
Good counter right hand from Marin. Young firing straight back though. You perhaps give the speed advantage to Young, the strength to Marin.
No, both these guys are pretty fast, as flyweights tend to be.
One of the Cage Warriors bounties is available for a slam knockout. Marin can elevate you. There's no question of that.
I mean, the danger with those, what we've seen from Paul Marin before, is it's his use of them to attack when you think he should be in defense. It's really funny in that his opponents will get what they perceive as a dominant grip, and all of a sudden they're on their back and they're scrambling for their lives. It really is quite something to watch.
A sharp boxing so far from Andy Young. Marin, though, getting through with some punches of his own. Solid kick to the thigh landed for the Romanian. Really tight boxing guards from both men, as you say, Josh.
Yeah, I think perhaps the slightly more technically crisp punches coming from Andy Young, but both guys throwing in pretty good volume so far.
Oh, head kick landed. Marin counters, drops him with the right hand. Paul Marin unloading here. Andy Young survives.
Yeah, looks to have got his feet back under him, but anxious moments for the man from Northern Ireland.
It's going to give Marin confidence in his fists as well, Josh.
I think we'll just see more of the same from Paul Marin. I mean, Paul Marin's only been stopped to strikes once, and that was a huge KO of the year body kick from Neil Seary up in Glasgow.
Stay here.
I think that kick was going to put anyone down, Josh.
Over there, please. Take your time. Take your time. Stay there, please.
And Paul Marin will have 5 minutes to recover now if he chooses to take it. Let's take a look at the replay. As is tradition in mixed martial arts, something we really don't want to see again.
Good.
And it was to the cup.
Accidental, but just let the low kick come a little bit high. That cutting inside kick's a really favorited kick of a lot of the fighters, but sometimes it just misses the mark slightly.
Another solid right there from Marin.
And that's a lot nicer from Marin. You can see he's instantly gained some confidence here in ending the combinations with kicks.
Marin can really load up those hands when he wants to. Perhaps the longest we've seen Paul Marin go without suplexing someone in a fight. That's the longest we've seen Paul Marin go without suplexing someone full stop.
I think right now he doesn't need to. You know, it's clearly his game plan is going to be keep this one on the feet. The wrestling's a back up, and at the moment, he is getting the better of Andy Young. He's throwing with a bit more volume. They're slowly starting to build up.
Over there, Marin, over there.
And Young that time on the wrong end of a kick that went slightly south of the border.
It's 1-1, huh? Keep it there, keep it there. You good?
Young ready to go.
Timing, fight.
Straight back to the action with these two flyweights. Brad Morton and Josh Palmer calling the action for you here tonight. Andy Young goes down again. Great hands on Paul Marin tonight. That's twice he sent his man to the canvas. Recovered a lot quicker the second time around, though, did Andy Young. Throwing a spinning heel kick is Andy Young. That's one of the Cage Warriors bounties.
Any head kick knockout will earn them that bonus. But I like the work from Paul Marin. It's a bit more lateral movement, perhaps, but right now he's doing everything right, and that's the third or fourth time he's caught that kick from Andy Young. You see Andy Young motioned that he had something in his eye, and Paul Marin thought, well, this is my moment.
Well, if you get punched in the eye... Oh, huge takedown from Andy Young!
Well, I did not see that coming. What a bit of explosion from Andy Young.
Marin again trying to load up the right. And you'll notice, Josh, every time Marin closes that gap, Young retreats straight away, not wanting to get caught in that body lock.
Yeah, I think Andy Young doesn't want to be tied up here. I think both are happy to feel this out on the feet and keep this fight in the realm of boxing and kickboxing. But at the moment, as we'll see on some of these replays, it's Paul Marin getting the better of it.
Marin went under that kick, counter with a three-punch combination there. Immediately trying to grab a hold of Andy Young, scrapping in the clinch of these two flyweights.
And it's that catch of the kick that served Marin really well.
Straight left down the pipe, dropped his man. And the follow-up flurry couldn't quite put him away. And again, a right hand that time, right on the chin. Momentarily drops Andy Young.
Yeah, this is the takedown from Young. It was perfect timing.
But already Marin managed to twist his body around before he hit the floor.
Well, some interesting talking points there, but I think the judges are probably going to go towards Paul Marin for that first one.
All action as advertised in this Cage Warriors flyweight contest.
Ready, guys, round two, let's go.
Two outstanding young athletes here. Andy Young, Paul Marin. Round two underway here at Cage Warriors 70. The fans here at the Helix in Dublin providing some incredible atmosphere and some incredible action. Again, Marin loading up the right. Young ducked under it that time.
Andy Young still keeping a very tight guard. Oh, Marin catches him on the counter.
It's the right hand again. Can Paul Marin get the finish? Young defending well. Marin just jackhammering that right hand over the top.
Just can't quite find his range. Andy Young's managed to get his legs between him to afford him a little bit of control of the distance.
And the sound of those right hands landing. Marin attacking with the left now. Knee to the body. Young back on his feet.
It's almost as though Paul Marin was unhappy with his last performance.
Marin unloading here. Looking to lock his man up.
Here we go, suplex.
Marin.
Didn't quite get the elevation, but managed to get the turn.
Straight into the big elbows from Marin here.
And a long time left in this round.
The crowd going absolutely wild. Willing Andy Young to get back up and stay in this fight.
And we've seen before, Andy Young is an incredibly tough customer. He's not easy to put away in the slightest.
Again, going for a takedown there was Young. Didn't quite get it that time.
Most of the time when he does lose, it is by decision. But right now, Paul Marin is turning the pace up on him. And the problem for Andy Young is we know that Paul Marin can keep this pace going all night long.
Needs to be careful walking in with that chin up, does Marin. But again, unleashing the punching combinations.
I mean, what made that knockdown so much worse was Andy Young bobbed his head out of the way, and as he brought his head back to the center, Marin struck him on the way back and really just amplified the blow.
Marin does need to be careful not to put his foot on the gas too much if he's not going to get that finish. It's the real risk-reward of pouncing on your opponent when you've got them rocked. But as you say, Josh, we've seen Marin going the distance before in some real high-energy bouts, looking like he could go another 2 rounds. The situation called for it.
Really
Big
nice
punches from Marin.
Marin's really working that counter rotation now with bringing the kicks into it. When he unfolds his body back from those strikes, the opposing limbs coming with a lot of force.
Andy Young, though, still game, still coming forward himself. Flying knee from Andy Young! That was huge! That's on the bouncy list, Josh.
Well, Andy Young still with a bit of explosion in him, and he seems to have got his feet back under him, but it's tough to see what he can do to change the tempo of this fight. That being said, he's backed Paul Marin up here, and I wonder if Paul Marin has punched himself out.
He hurt him with a left hook. Young coming forward now. Really picking away at Marin with that lead hand. Young again going for the takedown. He gets it.
Great work from Young there. Paul Marin trying to keep him at range with the axe kicks.
Phenomenal stuff here from Andy Young, trying to get back into this fight.
Wades his way through. Looking to try and keep his back up straight. His good posture, but he accepts the guard position of Marin here.
A minute left to go.
We haven't really seen Paul Marin on his back too much from here, and of course he's bunched up against the cage as well, which is going to make his head movement and therefore his hip movement difficult.
Andy Young just gathering his thoughts here, trying to create some space, posture up and land some shots. Marin trying to lock his man in tight, prevent him from getting any real posture to put anything behind these shots on the ground.
Yeah, Paul Marin's holding on for a bit of a stand-up here. You can see Andy Young's trying to frame on the face, make it very uncomfortable and break Marin's S-grip, you can see there. Oh, and Andy Young almost earns the pass. Immediately Marin turtles and uses it to stand back up.
Marin now looking to end this round on a high note.
That was a really good passage of movement for Andy Young. Unfortunately, it comes on the back of almost being finished earlier on in the round.
Now we're in an interesting situation here, Josh. You've got to think round 1 and round 2 go to Paul Marin. Has Paul Marin maybe done too much? Let's take a look at some of his efforts here in the second round. Absolute peach of a right hand from Marin.
Yeah, and he really flurried trying to finish it from that point on.
Really, really twisted Young's head back, and he was jackhammering those right hands in, throwing so many big looping shots. Just couldn't find the one he needed on the button.
Good flurry again from Marin. I think that landed, you know. Now,
Andy Young. Now, Josh, there was a bit of a debate going on when the Cage Warriors bounces were announced. Would it affect fights? Would it not affect fights? Would people be going for it? I think the answer is yes so far.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, both these guys throwing everything at this bout so far. A thrilling one for the fans here. Paul Marin probably ahead on the judges' scorecards,
third and final round.
But very clearly, Paul Marin perhaps is starting to tire, and the momentum is starting to swing towards Andy Young, who's going to look for an impressive comeback.
Huge round of applause to start this third and final round from the fantastic crowd here in Dublin. Marin already coming out hard with these punches. Can he keep it up for the full 5 though, Josh?
Andy Young still keeping his guard very tight, even deep into this round. Scores another takedown. Earns a mount position as well.
Are we going to see a bridge here from Marin?
He is.
He's trying for it.
You can see how Andy Young is forcing his base out wide. Traditionally, what you want to do is tuck your feet in here, but of course, what Young is having to do is base his feet out, knowing that if Marin bridges, he's going to be more mobile to counter it.
You can hear Marin grimacing as he tries to get that bridge. Going to scoot himself out instead, it looks like. Andy Young, though, keeping up the pressure. Short, chopping shots.
Oh, it's a catch-22 because Marin's doing everything right there and trying to post on the arm. Of course, he needs that hand to defend his face, so Andy makes him think about that first. And it's a good period of mount control from Andy Young. Again, you see the leg come up to try and say, hey, I'm going to stay as mobile as possible here.
Marin looking the bridge, get up and out. Big knee to the body from Andy Young, but Marin's back on his feet.
See, look how Marin turtled. He knowingly turtled and immediately sunk his elbows into his body to stop any back control coming in from Andy Young. It was a dangerous but worthwhile method of standing back up for the Romanian.
And there just doesn't seem to be as much on the punches of Paul Marin in this third round, Josh. He's throwing them nonetheless, though. Andy Young so quick with those takedowns.
Yeah, and he's changing the angle really nicely. They're just little picks, little feints, and really giving Paul Marin a lot to think about here.
Phenomenal performance from Andy Young to get back into this fight. Paul Marin now on the back foot, hanging in there himself. Another big takedown from Young.
Well, that was that wasn't even really a power double. That was just, I'm going to put my shoulder in your sternum and drive through you. North-south for Andy Young. But you see the knees up means there isn't any weight on Paul Marin, and he can turn around to turtle and stand back up.
Big teep to the face of Young. Marin following up with more punches. This is just roller coaster stuff, Josh, back and forth.
I mean, the flyweights are always known for being very dynamic and very fast, but it really does say something about the professionalism of these athletes to be able to do it for the full 15 minutes.
It's phenomenal to think that just 3 or 4 years ago, people were wary of putting flyweights on the card because they didn't think people would be interested in watching them. How can you not love this if you're a mixed martial arts fan? Marin still pumping out the leg kicks. Young answering back with punches. Again going for the takedown. Marin stays on his feet that time, though. Grueling rounds. Marin going for a takedown that time.
Yeah, immediately following up with the kick. It's a good limb palm to escape that hold.
2 big punches land from Marin. Young with a hook of his own. Good head movement from Young there.
You got to wonder, has either one of these guys got enough left in the tank to actually finish the opponent if he lands one of these haymakers?
Trading jabs now. Young flicks that kick up, didn't find a home for it. Another big takedown, just deposits Marin on his back.
I'm so impressed with the takedowns of Andy Young. We haven't really seen them like this before, but he's getting in and he's almost just using his arms to turn his man over. It's a tremendous amount of power as Paul Marin resorts to open guard with the feet on the hips. And not long left to work at all. Let's see if he tries a submission.
45 seconds to go in this third and final round. Andy Young backs off, calls Paul Marin up. Marin comes to meet him. Marin unloading with punches and kicks now. With the uppercut. Good head movement from Young, who takes Paul Marin down again. It really is unfamiliar territory for Marin, Josh.
Yeah, it's such a strange takedown as well, because he puts his head on the outside, and rather than traditionally driving with his head to the left, he uses his arms and his shoulder to force his man the opposing direction. It's almost as though no one's expecting the direction change in that direction, so it just takes everyone by surprise.
Final seconds of the fight. Andy Young looking for a diving punch. Marin fired the up kick, and that's all she wrote.
I mean,
Young raises his hands. Marin climbs to his feet. A lot of contest, John.
Yeah, a lot of people are on their feet cage side here, because that was an impressive fight from both these guys. What a war. Both guys had their moments, but Paul Marin probably doing the better over the first 2 rounds.
Certainly on my unofficial scorecard, 2-1 to Marin. Let's take a look at some of the action. You can judge for yourselves.
Yeah, I'm dying to see these takedowns from Young again.
Absolutely beautiful stuff from Young, so fast.
Yeah, there's no pause between connecting to the hips and driving through. It's so impressive.
Shooting from outside the pocket as well.
Yeah, without any strikes to set it up. It's pure pace and power on those.
Let's see from Marin there. A nice 1-2 behind it. Yet another takedown. Marin's shoulders on the back before his legs were. Oh, a double up kick there. I didn't see that one the first time around.
I didn't see that happen at all.
This is why we love the action replay, folks. Really was the kind of fight I could watch all night long. We're going to throw this one to Joe Martinez in the cage with the official result.
Well, fight fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. We have a unanimous decision, all three, 29-28. Your winner by unanimous decision, Paul El Empalador Marin.
Big win from Paul El Empalador Marin. Victorious again on Cage Warriors. Credit where credit's due to Andy Young, though. A phenomenal performance from the young Irishman. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of these two gentlemen, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.